Happy Camper Radio, episode 57. Come on, let's go camping. We are back once again for another episode of the Happy Camper Radio Show. Yes, my friends, the only place you need to be when you're ready to talk camping. Camping is what we're about. Camping is all we talk about here on the show. Hello and welcome back to camp, Daniel.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, it's going great. It's going
all right.
Real wonderful. I've got no complaints. We started out pretty good. And,
right.
You know, we're now into our second year, and I'm not going to complain about that. We've got a great episode here for our folks
today.
We're
old hats.
You're what?
We're old hats.
We're
never
old
heard that
hats.
Term? Yeah.
When you get to be my age, then you can claim that title.
Oh, yes, sir.
You're still a young puppy yet.
Do I have to call you yes, sir? Do I have to say yes, sir, no, sir on the show?
Well, you know, you can respect your elders, and I'm not going to complain about that.
Do I have to stand at attention?
Hey, I understand you are going to be on another radio show this week.
Hopefully, this Thursday. Guy from the show, messaged me and said, "Hey, you want to be on for a few minutes?"
And
I was like, "Yeah."
This is going to be a video show.
Yeah,
so
they can turn on my video.
If I want to go ahead and look at this podcast, and I use that word very openly, I mean, I'm going to be able to see your smiling face, and the whole world will be able to see it too.
Yeah, I think so.
And the neat thing about it is you're going to be doing it from the Happy Camper Radio studios.
Well, is there any other better place?
Hey, I couldn't think of a better place.
Yeah.
Hey, better your face on camera than mine.
Well, you do have a face for radio, so
I do that. I do at that. I'm not going to complain there.
Right.
So, hey, Daniel, if any one of our listeners want to watch this program, where can they go to see it?
I don't know if they can watch it. They can hear it on Stitcher, iTunes.
But there will be a link available.
You're talking about I thought you were talking about this one.
Yeah.
No, that one. It's just frogpants.com. They have all the links there.
Frog Pants.
Yeah. You did a promo spot a little while ago of one of the hosts, Brian Ibbett. He did a little spot for us when I was at Dragon Con last year. And
I didn't expect you to bring that up, but if I would have known that in advance, I would have had that clip available.
Yeah, well, he does another podcast with it's a music podcast talking about covers of songs and stuff, and he just plays with that a lot, and he's been doing that for a long time, since like 05, 04, something like that. He's like
we haven't been around that long, but we're building our listener base. You know, we're in another world here. You know, the camping world, there's no people that are in the camping world. There's no other people like that in the world.
Yeah, definitely.
So, hey, I won't complain about that. But what we'll have to do is we'll have to put a link on our website and post it on Facebook and as well as on Google+.
I guess I'll have to mention the show then.
Absolutely, because, I definitely want to see it. You know what the heck? I mean, I'm going to be here in the studio the whole time.
You might be on camera.
And Deidre's going to be on too, I understand?
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm thinking.
You're working on it?
Yeah.
Okay. As we all have something to look forward to. Great.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Hey, our phone number here is 404-537-2267. That's 404-537-CAMP. If you'd like to be on the Happy Camper Radio Show, give us a shout anytime, day or night. Give us your show idea, your comments, your question, anything that you have about the show, and we're going to get you on the Happy Camper Radio Show. That number, once again, 404-537-CAMP. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker, and add us to your circles on Google+. And anytime you want to just reach out to the Happy Camper Radio Show, there's a number of ways you can do that. Daniel, let's get our campfire lit.
All right.
It's
getting a little chilly here.
You're going to be just fine.
Okay.
That fire just every time, Daniel, we light that fire.
Is today a burn day? Because I was burning in the backyard.
Don't tell me that, Daniel. We are in a burn ban right now.
Again? Oh, my God.
Yes. It is springtime. There's a lot to celebrate in the spring.
Yeah, fire.
Well,
right?
you can do that at a campsite, but Daniel, in your own backyard, in this county, in this state, the answer is no. You can't do that. But you do your own thing, and we understand.
I'm a
that.
rebel, Skip.
Yeah.
You can't tame me.
Yeah, you're
I'm a rebel
right.
without a cause. Well, my cause is burning.
Hey, incidentally, Daniel, we have a shout out here. We want to say hello to Nikki B, who added us to circles this past week on Google+. Nikki, thank you so much for being a part of the Happy Camper Radio Show. We're so happy to have you on board. Hey, Daniel, and speaking of Google+, we're going to be making some changes real soon to our Google+ page, and I'm going to have some information about that to tell you a little bit later on. Just a couple minor changes, and for folks who have already added us to circles, I'm going to be sending out a notice about that. There's going to be a new link that you can catch up with us on the Happy Camper Radio Show. In other words, we're redesigning the whole page.
Ooh.
So, and hey, if you'd like to add us to circles, definitely go ahead and do that. Happy Camper Radio, you can't beat it, and we'll go ahead and shout out to you just like we did to Nikki.
Like that,
Yeah.
Skip? Do we yell? Like
I don't have the opera voice that you have, Daniel, but hey,
I can't get low. I can get kind of high. Well, I can get kind of low.
What are you sniffing?
This microphone.
The smoke.
It does smell kind of
Yeah,
weird.
hey, I just love the odor of the. I don't even want to call it odor. I want to call it the aroma
I do smell like smoke.
of the fire. Because hey, I'm always in a state of relaxation anytime.
I just came out of my house to come over here, and I smelt the thing of smoke. I was like, smells like camping. Oh, I hope the fire isn't still going. It's out.
Well, when we get that grill fired up on the back patio, Daniel.
Well, that's gonna be nice.
That's gonna be so nice. In fact, that is what we're gonna be talking about here on today's show.
Ooh.
Because springtime is here, and the springtime brings the grilling season.
Ooh, I like grilling.
I do too. I like my food prepared on the grill. And, I truly believe people in the camping world will agree with me that you can't beat food that is cooked on the grill.
Oh, yeah.
There's something about the taste of that food that you will not get in comparison to food that is prepared in your kitchen.
Yeah. Yeah, we did that once when we were in Callaway. We built a fire and we roasted marshmallows. I was like, well, that's not enough. So we roasted hot dogs too.
But Daniel, I want to say this. I got to admit that any time that I have gone camping, whether it be a short camping trip or a long camping trip, I have always made it a point to grill at least one day.
Absolutely, definitely.
You do a lot of preparation. You do a lot of cooking on your camp stove.
Right.
You cook your breakfast and your dinner. A lot of times in the afternoons, you just slap together a sandwich and that. But like in the morning time and in the evening time, you do a lot of cooking on your camping equipment. But I want to say at least one day out of your entire trip, you've got to fire up the charcoals.
Absolutely.
You've got to do that. And we're going to be talking about the grilling season today as part of our show. Now, Daniel, I want to say this. All right. I do a lot of preparation in getting together for a camping trip.
Yes, you
do. And that
do.
includes buying the groceries.
Right.
I usually put together a list of things that I'm going to take along with me, including what I will be preparing on the grill. At least one day out of my camping trip. And because I'm an older guy now, Daniel, I don't really get out all that much like you do. I'm usually gone for maybe 1 or 2 days and I'm back. But, I've got a lot of obligations here at the house. I've got a lot of obligations with the show and a few other things here. So it's kind of difficult for me to actually take a week-long trip and go away somewhere. Granted, I do go camping by myself, but I don't want to say I am by myself because I am surrounded by fellow campers.
Oh, yeah.
So when I venture off to a campground, whether it be a public campground or a private campground, I am usually around a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the same as having a partner there with you, whether it be a friend or your spouse or, whoever that comes along camping. Hey, and incidentally, I have got a relative. I got my younger brother coming down here to Atlanta in about a month from now.
Okay.
I'm going to have him on the show.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, and you'll be here too. You'll get to meet him. But we are going to have to take a moment away to come back here to the studios because we are going to be camping the whole time he's here.
Oh, are we?
Yes, we're going to go camping over here at Stone Mountain Park.
I have to find all my equipment for my tent. Oh, yeah, you're going over to Stone Mountain?
Yes.
Yeah, we're probably going to go over there and, check it out.
Come on over and hang out.
Yeah.
But,
absolutely.
I will say this much. He is a lot better at cooking on the grill than I am.
I thought you were going to say something else.
I'd like to say that camping and grilling itself is the highlight of any camping adventure.
What kind of grilling are we talking about? Are we talking about charcoal, propane? I mean, what are some details?
Well, we're going to talk about all of that today, Daniel.
Okay.
I want to say that I am a burger and a hot dog kind of guy.
Right.
I don't really do anything fancy. There are people in the world out there who I can say will run circles around me when it comes to preparing food.
Right.
I usually slap together the patties, I break the hot dogs out of the package, and I put them on the grill. I don't do anything real fancy.
Oh.
But, I want to at least grill one night out of a trip, whether it be steaks, whether it be ribs, burgers, or hot dogs, as long as it's cooked on the grill. For the most part, I do charcoal.
Yeah.
I don't do the gas grill. I know you've got a gas grill out there on your patio.
I had one.
You had one?
I got rid of it.
You got rid of it.
Yeah, that's what you're for, Skip. I figure you just make all my food, right?
Well, there are some people around here, Daniel, that would much prefer gas grills than the charcoal because I think there's a little more work involved.
Yeah,
when you're dealing with a charcoal grill.
You always got to buy more and more.
Sometimes, we
do have a charcoal grill. We have a little Weber that we, I don't know, but sometimes we just put it on the stove inside. We just don't want to hassle with it sometimes.
You'll be surprised. A lot of the folks that do go camping and do engage in grilling will do it in a number of different ways. Now, some people, like yourself, will carry those little tabletop grills. They're convenient. They can fit in the back of a hatchback along with all your other camping equipment. They don't take up much space. And if there's only two people, that's really all you're going to need.
Right.
There are some folks that will actually bring a grill that has a folding stand to it. Have you ever seen those?
Maybe. Oh, yeah.
You can get them in the grocery store these days.
Oh, yeah. You see those at tailgating parties a lot.
Right.
I think, yeah.
And they can fit in the back of your pickup truck or in some cases in the trunk of your vehicle, depending upon how many items you're going to be bringing along with you. Now, some people go all the way out and they have these grills. I'm talking these big grills that they connect to the back of their vehicle and they pull them along.
That's crazy.
That is a dedicated griller right there.
I guess so.
Somebody who is going to go that extra mile to actually bring their gear, and that will take up probably more space than all their entire camping equipment. But that just goes to show you right there, some people are that dedicated into cooking. And then there's our folks like yourself, who had a gas grill. Some people like using gas grills, and nothing wrong with that. And then, if you don't want to go that route, you can always go to the campground where you will find at just about every site a grill that is permanently installed. Now, Daniel, I got to say, I am not too fond of those.
Oh, no?
No, and I'll tell you why. Because, first of all, they are there. They are permanent. They get used constantly by previous guests to your site. They don't get cleaned. That's going to be your obligation to clean them, which means you're going to be bringing a steel brush with you. They are constantly in the weather.
Yep.
And it's, to me, I like having my own equipment.
Yeah. Well, usually what we do is we'll put like aluminum foil over top of it so it's not actually touching it, and you kind of don't have to worry about it, and you get the benefits of the heat from the fire and burning the stuff. But anyway, what I was going to say was, like, when we were camping last weekend, me and my wife at Callaway, they had a little thing that you could put over against the fire. They had like fire pits at every camping site, and they had a little thing that you could put to if you wanted to grill something. So that was really cool.
I have seen those, and they're
really
permanently
cool.
attached to a fire ring.
Exactly.
Yeah. And a lot of people use those to actually put their coffee pot on in the morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of folks at different campsites
That's really cool.
do that. But that's about as close as they will use that for to prepare their food.
Yeah.
Now, Daniel, I've got to say that, I have used the grills at the campgrounds before, and I usually bring a wire brush with me, and
really?
I clean them very thoroughly, and I bring along a bag of charcoal. That was back in the day.
Right.
I usually bring my own grill with me when I go to a campsite today. Of course, I have the room just like yourself. I've got a pickup truck, and I've got plenty of room inside there, in addition to my gear. So I got the extra room. I can throw a big bag of charcoal. I usually bring plenty of whatever I need to get the job done. But that's me. When I prepare my grill, whether it be a campground grill or one that I'm bringing along, I don't know if you do this, and I don't know if any of our listeners do it, but I usually bring a jar of bacon grease with me.
Oh,
because
I remember
Daniel,
this. Yeah.
And I may have mentioned this in a previous episode a long time ago, but that, for me, just add some additional taste, some additional flavor to your food, is when you get that grate nice and hot, and you take a paper towel and you dab it into that grease, and then you just, real carefully, rub it on the grate, and watch that grease melt. That adds a lot of good flavor to your burgers.
Yeah. It's funny you say that, because every morning we have bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits for breakfast, and we use a cast iron skillet, and we always make the bacon and then the eggs and everything, and then later on we'll let the grease harden, and then we'll wipe the inside with a paper towel, and there's that coating of bacon grease. And we do this every day, and it's just more and more of a coating, because you're not supposed to wash those with dish soap and everything. So every day our skillet gets more and more seasoned with that bacon grease. And I think it gets better and better every day.
I use it all the time on my back patio grill.
Yeah.
That I have. And that's the one we're going to be using for the Great American Backyard Campout, like we did last year.
When is that again?
It's about a month away from now. It's on the 28th of June. And I'm going to be posting some information on our website very soon about that. The Great American Backyard Campout, we had a great time last year.
Oh, yeah.
And it's an opportunity for each and every one of our listeners to get together with family, friends, loved ones, and take that one moment out of the year to unplug all your electronic devices, put down the cell phones, the iPhones, all those fancy gadgets, and take a moment to spend time with family in the great outdoors. And you can do that right in your very own backyard, or maybe in your neighbor's backyard, like in your case.
Like me.
Right?
Exactly.
So, hey, take the time to do it. We had a great time last year, and I guarantee we're going to have an even better time this year. One of the things I liked about last year, Daniel, is I set up a day ahead of time.
You did.
I did, and I took my tent down a day later.
You did.
And I just really wanted to stay engaged in that.
You did.
But, hey, I want to talk about food preparation here. Now, Daniel, when you come to camp and you decide you're going to go ahead and grill, I don't know about anybody else, but I like to visit a local grocery store, and you can find them just about anywhere.
Walmart. That's where we always go.
Well, wherever you may go, if I'm going to buy hot dogs or if I'm going to buy burgers, I want to buy them very close to the time that I'm going to prepare them. In other words, if I'm going to be gone for a week, I don't want them sitting in my cooler for an entire week. I'd rather go ahead and purchase them very close to the time that I'm going to prepare them.
So this poses a question. What kind of food, because I always have this problem when I go camping, what food do you bring with you, and what food do you go out and get in your vicinity of where you're camping? What do you get there, and what do you bring with you? How do you decide that?
I bring most everything with me, with the exception of the items that I'm going to cook on a grill. Unless, however, I know I'm going to be going to a place where a grocery store is going to be, say, several miles away, say like 10 miles. All right, it's not going to be worth it for me to drive 10 miles to buy a steak and bring it back to camp. I could probably buy 3 steaks for the amount of money that I'm going to be spending in gas. So, in that case, I will bring everything. But if a grocery store is going to be just around the corner, and you can find a lot of that information, not just by doing some very simple online research. Your campground will tell you, hey, we do have a grocery store maybe within 3 miles of the campsite. Fine. All right, that's where I will go ahead and buy my steaks. I will buy my ground beef. I will buy my hot dogs that I'm going to be cooking on the grill. But if it's a little bit further out than that, then I'll just go ahead and bring it on with me.
Okay.
But that's just me. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I'm going to have the freshest beef, the freshest hot dogs to actually cook on the grill, close to the time that I'm going to be grilling. But, keeping everything in your cooler until you're ready to grill is very important. You want to make sure that, your food that can spoil, your perishable items, will be kept in a tight cooler. And this past year, Daniel, I went ahead and broke down and I bought a brand new cooler. And I love it. I've used it a few times already. I've kept my old one, and I mentioned that a long time ago. That right now, the old cooler didn't get put out in the trash bin.
Oh.
I use that to store my dry goods.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah. So, I've got that big cooler, but if I want to bring instant mashed potatoes, if I want to bring some canned goods, if I want to bring some crackers or some bread, to me, why bring all those items in those plastic grocery bags?
Exactly. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And just
That's
because
what we need.
and just because it's a non-perishable item doesn't mean the squirrels and raccoons aren't going to get into them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Leave them on the picnic table in those plastic grocery bags, and you may wake up and find half of your food eaten. And the guilty parties is going to be out there in a tree somewhere, or maybe holed up, and they're going to be relaxed. They're going to be feeling real good.
Yeah.
So, I like to keep those items, in a safe place, and that old cooler serves just that purpose. Some people like season and marinating. And Daniel, last year, I don't know if you remember, but your wife prepared the burgers ahead of time.
Oh, yeah?
And I like I says, I slapped together the patties and I put them on the grill. And,
right.
And that to me is fine. Now, I have been accused on a number of occasions of burning the food.
What?
I will argue that point with just about anybody because
we're all about burning on my side.
Yeah, the food that I prepare, I will eat, and it tastes pretty darn good to me.
Right.
But some people just don't like the way I prepare it, and that's okay. Again, there are some folks out there that can run circles around me on the grill. But, I cook the way I feel I need to cook, and it serves the purpose.
Well, you talked about marinades. They also have rubs. Like if you're doing a steak, they do a rub. I went out to see my cousins and aunt out in Dallas a few years ago, and they have all these steak places and everything. We got a rub there, and we use that all the time. So that's always an interesting idea. And you can use it. It doesn't have to be burgers or steaks or whatever. You can use it on fish and salmon. And sometimes when we grill, it's not just meat products. We've grilled anything from tomatoes to squash to, what is it called? Zucchini. And it's really, really good. Onions, caramelized onions, they're the best with
my
mushrooms.
Hat's off to your better half, because last year when she brought those burgers over, she had them in a Tupperware dish.
Yeah.
They were already prepared, and they were marinating like a day ahead of time.
Yeah.
And hey, Daniel, those were one of the best tasting burgers I ever had. And I never would have thought about doing that. But
right.
That's me. I just do it the simple way. Some people go that extra mile, and there are some people that go even further than that. But, however you like your food cooked, whatever you plan on grilling, you want to do it safely. And here's one of the things that I want to point out, Daniel, because this can even get the best of us. Mm-hmm. When you are camping, it is so important that, you may get caught up in the fun of everything that's going on. But when it comes to preparing that food, always make sure that you wash your hands thoroughly.
Oh, yeah.
Before you handle any food that is going to be put on the grill, or actually any food for that matter. Because, especially being in the outdoors, you've got germs and a lot of things, around us here, that could possibly contaminate that food. Daniel, we overlook the fact that when we get to the campground, we spray down with bug spray.
Oh, yeah.
Bring out the mosquito spray. Bring out the insect repellent with DEET. you want to make sure you get all of that off of your hands. So definitely take a moment to think. And if you're going to be the master chef, if you're going to be the one wearing the apron, if you're the one that's going to be in charge of the grill, make sure you take the time to carefully and thoroughly wash your hands and get all of those outside items or outside contaminants off your hands before you handle any food item.
So let me make a confession real quick. So one time I accidentally put the charcoal lighter on the grill and I forgot to remove the grates. And that was a bad idea because it tasted like charcoal lighter and it was terrible. So make sure you always, if you're going to do charcoal, make sure, if you're going to use lighter fluid, take the grates off, spray it down with the lighter fluid, light it up, let it die down. I personally would wash off the grates again just to be, safe, and then put it on there and then do your cooking.
And speaking of lighting that grill, Daniel, it is so important to make sure that you keep an eye on the young children that are around you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and never allow them to play around anything that is hot, whether it be your grill or the fire. And here's something else you also going to want to do too. While we still have a little bit of time, Daniel, is pay attention to the cooking times.
Mm-hmm.
Some people just go ahead and they figure, well, the internal temperature is okay. It's going to be done by now. It's not going to be too raw. It's not going to be too well cooked. Pay attention to cooking times. If you don't have any cooking times already written down, there's a place that you can visit, and I'm going to put a link on our website to usda.gov, and you can check out their safe minimum temperature chart. And it'll be on our homepage. All you've got to do is go to www.happycamperradio.com, click under Skip's Corner, and look for the link section. There it will be this coming week. Carry a meat thermometer with you, too. That you can't go wrong there either.
Mm-hmm.
They're only a couple of bucks. You can pick them up at your local department store. And, if you don't have one at home, buy a second one that you can keep in your camping equipment. Daniel, it's time now for our featured campground of the week here on the Happy Camper Radio Show. Daniel, I searched high and low for a wonderful campground.
What'd you find?
You wouldn't believe some of the campgrounds that I have come across out there today. But I laid my eyes on one.
I have to say, I love and hate this segment because every time you talk about a campground, it makes me want to leave right now and just say, the heck with work and just go out there and do it. Just go wherever you tell me to.
Well, you're right, Daniel. The heck with work, but we've got a few minutes left in this podcast, so don't go anywhere yet. We are going to go this week to Buck Creek, Iowa. Daniel, this campground is about ready to open up in just a couple of days, and their season runs all the way through September, I believe it is. Yes, and let me double check here. So, yes, Monday, September the 29th. So, you've got plenty of time to go ahead and make your reservation online. It is our featured campground of the week. Daniel, this campground here sits on Rathbun Lake.
Mm-hmm.
It is an 11,000-acre lake. It provides great fishing opportunities if you're an angler. And although power boating is also popular, they say the prevailing winds on Rathbun Lake, also known as Iowa's Ocean, makes it one of the best sailing lakes in Iowa.
I've been sailing before. That's fun.
They've got electric hookups, plenty of amenities, flush toilets, pit toilets, showers, drinking water, dump station. I've got a couple pictures here on their website. You can check them out there. And they've got a host of a lot of other activities and things. They've got a playground there for the kids. I always think that's important. They've got, a picnic area. They've got swimming. All that information is available on their website, and you can check it out under the featured campground button at happycamperradio.com. It is Buck Creek, Iowa. It is our featured campground of the week here on the Happy Camper Radio Show. And as always, if you have a campground that you would like for Daniel and I to feature on the program, by all means, give us both a shout. Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com, and his name is
Daniel at happycamperradio.com.
And make sure you include a link to the campground that you would like for us to feature. You know, you folks out there have been visiting a lot of great campgrounds. We'd love to hear about them. If you've had fun there, no doubt the whole world, in the whole camping world, will have fun there too. So, you know, definitely get in touch with us here at Happy Camper Radio. Our phone number again, 404-537-2267. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker, and add us to your circles on Google+. The Happy Camper Radio Show is a presentation of Skip Huber Productions. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper. Daniel's a happy camper. And yes, my friends, you can be a happy camper too. We'll catch you next week. You're listening to Happy Camper Radio.